The fight to end racism. Racism is the belief that all members of each race possess characteristics or abilities specific to that race, especially so as to distinguish it as inferior or supreme to another race or races. So I'm pretty sure, whenever I took my poll, at least half of this class has experienced racism. And more than half of y'all have known somebody that has experienced racism. Some racist comments that I've gotten before are, "You're pretty for a black girl." Or I remember one time I was looking in a magazine with my friend and she pointed to a black girl and she was like, "Oh, she's pretty for a black girl." And in my mind, I'm just like, okay, if I turned out white, black, Chinese, I'm still gonna look bomb, so what's your point? And I was just like, okay. And then my dad's teacher, whenever he was younger, his teacher told him that he wasn't gonna succeed in life or ever do well because of the community that he came from, and I think he came from Sunnyside. So his teacher told him that he wasn't gonna succeed, and he's made it. All right, this is Emmett Till. I'll talk about him later on in the presentation because he's going to be coming up again. Next, please. All right, racism comes from pure ignorance. It can't come from anywhere else. You can't be racist to someone because of their skin color or their race or whatever religion that they're worshiping. It's just all out of pure ignorance. It's nothing else. These are some of the earlier, remember whenever Martin Luther King started marching, these were some of the actions that happened whenever he was marching. They would stick dogs on them and people would get attacked and they would hose, like, people down. Next. What defeats ignorance? Education. Whenever you're able to educate someone about different cultures and show them to love diversity and everything around them, that's the best thing that can defeat ignorance. Nothing else defeats ignorance but education and love. Whenever they're able to love different cultures and different races and see beauty in anything and everything, no matter how dark your skin or how pale your skin, because anybody can experience racism. It's just not black people. And I think some of the most underrated cultures that receive the less attention, and y'all also thought this too, are Mexicans, Hispanics, just in general. And people who come from in the Middle Eastern countries, because of usually just the religion or the way that they wear their clothes and garments. Like my dad and my stepmother, she's Muslim, and whenever she goes out to worship in church, she has to wear full hijab garb, and people sometimes call her a terrorist, and they'll say some really pretty horrible racial slurs towards you, and it's mind-blowing because they don't really specifically know about this religion, because the Muslim religion is really actually a loving one. It's not anything that's mean. They're built to love one another, and it's just astounding. Next, please. All right, racism has been showing up lately again. So all these cases are cases that have been happening lately, except for Emmett Till. Emmett Till happened in the 1950s whenever rumors are, I don't know if this is true because they haven't been able to confirm this, that he whistled at a white woman while he was in a corner store or something around that. Later on, he went back to his uncle's house, and a few days later, the woman's husband and his friend kidnapped Emmett Till from his home while his grandmother was there and begging for them not to take him. They took Emmett Till and they beat him beyond recognition. This was him before, this is him after, and they take him to a river and they shoot him in the head, point blank, in the riverbank, and they tie him to a metal fan and they push his body into the river. And later on, when his body is retrieved, they find a ring on his finger. This is the only way that they're able to distinguish that this body is his, because his mother gave him a ring before he went off to Mississippi, and it was his dad's ring. This is Trayvon Martin. This is the Charleston shooter. This is Jordan Davis. He was shot because a white man thought his music was too loud, and he felt threatened because of his music, so he went and shot the dude, and he was just doing nothing. He was just by himself. And this one is actually Chapel Hill. 3 Muslim students were shot and killed whenever they were peacefully worshiping, and I think it was a student center building. They were just all peacefully worshiping, and a guy who didn't agree with the religion went and he shot some students, and 3 of them died. Next, please. What racism has lately has shown us. We are failing to grow as a nation. We are failing to grow as a nation. This is showing us that while we've made some progress, it's almost like all the progress that we're making is continuously throwing us back. And it's frustrating because me as like being an African American community, I'm always seeing in the news, like always someone's getting shot and killed by the police, or someone who's just, they don't know anything and they're really ignorant and racist towards us. And it really frustrates me because it's just like, why? There's really no need for you to go and do this. And actually the Charleston Hill shooting, he actually went in there and he worshiped with the people in the church before he shot and killed them. And he said that he had second thoughts about killing them because they were so nice to him, but he did it anyway. And this poster really like kind of describes how I feel. Justice for, I left it blank because I'll probably need this next year. And I saw this all over social media, and it's true because it's like, we always have a shooting each and every single year. And it's usually just, it's a shooting that didn't even need to really occur. We all need to fight back against this. So whenever something like this happens again, it doesn't need to just be black people protesting, but it should be all of us protesting, every single race. Whenever a Muslim is shot, it shouldn't just be Muslim people weeping out there and trying to, help one another. It should be black people going out there, white people going out there, all protesting ignorance like this. Next, please. What we can start doing to make a change. Like I said, we all need to protest racial ignorance. It shouldn't just be one race. It shouldn't just be one religion. It should be all of us. Try to prevent fitting into negative racial stereotypes. So some of the racial stereotypes I've seen for black people are we don't go to college, we don't like to get education, we stay at home, we don't have jobs. Like, I encourage us all to get an education, to all try to go to college, to all try to find jobs. And most of those stereotypes, my mom, she works 2 jobs whenever she had me. And my dad, he has a job. Most of those stereotypes really usually aren't true, but they're all based off of ignorance. Try not to stereotype against others. So whenever you see somebody in hijab form, don't think that they're automatically a terrorist. Whenever you see a Mexican, don't just believe that they're already an immigrant, because it's not all true. Next, please. What we can do to make a change for our future generations, like I said, educate them to love diversity and everything that comes with it, different foods, different garbs, the way that they worship, show them different cultures, make sure they know how to love differentiation. Next, and this should just be my works cited. Oh, okay, this is my MLA format, but I was supposed to have a third one, but my computer froze up. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, I need to hand you my phone.